Hi everyone, welcome back to the Reddit drama channel with another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and like the video if you enjoy it. Also, please click the notification bell so you won't miss when another cheating story goes live. These simple clicks mean a lot to our channel, and thank you for your support.
My girlfriend said it was black magic that made her do it the fifth time. This month would mark 3.5 years since my girlfriend and I would have been together. I broke up with her yesterday, and I feel terrible. Reason being, she cheated on me 5 times in the 2.5 years that we had been together. We lived together for 1 year, and for the entire year she had another boyfriend. When I found this out, I packed my things and moved out. She begged me to give her another chance. Told me that she didn't cheat, it was black magic that made her do it the 5th time. I loved her very much so. The past year I've tried to move past her infidelities, lies, etc. But I grew resentful towards her, and in turn she tried to paint me as the bad guy. I knew in my heart that something had changed the 5th time I caught her cheating. I grew weary, and I would no longer express to her how I felt. I stopped doing a lot of the things I had been doing. We fought often because I did not want to have sex with her. Even though she cheated on me, she could not understand how I felt. Telling me that I'm not an understanding person. That was the old her, and that I am not even trying to see who she is now. The 4 previous times she has cheated, I do not know to what extent. I've seen dirty text messages, but I don't expect her to tell me the truth, as she lied about the 5th guy. But I saw text messages, and intimate photos of them. Even when I found out about him, she denied it, telling me that she would never cheat on me, and how I'm making her look like a bad person, and that she's changed, until I showed her the proof. What hurts the most is that I literally gave this girl everything I had. And she knew it too, because the 5th time I caught her cheating, like I mentioned, I stopped many of these things. I was a great girlfriend to her. 100% faithful, I was always there for her, constantly showing her love and affection. Looking back, she treated me like complete rubbish. When we moved in together, she told me that my dog, that I've had for 13 years of my life, could not move in with us because she didn't want it there in the house. That broke me, but I chose her over my dog. It's never been about material things to me. But when I met her, she had been using the bus to go to work, and at the time I bought a 3-year-old Audi coupe that I gave to her. And I had been driving a 1996 beater car. I later found out that she would have the guy she cheated on me with in that car. She made no mention of me. Flaunted that she was an independent woman, who had been living alone and bought that nice car. Meanwhile, I had been working 3 jobs, triple shifts the year that we moved in together. Also that I could afford her a $10,000 ring, which I did buy. The worst part was that even though for months she was hinting, literally, that she wanted us to get engaged, when she found out about the $10,000 ring, long story, she didn't want to get married. During this time she had the same boyfriend, and had put his ring on her finger, taking photos for social media. I had no idea about any of this. I cry writing this because I loved her so much, but I felt so unhappy the past year being with her, and trying to see past all of this. Only to have her call me the bad guy. She has even tried to tell me that the other time she cheated was because when we fought, which was because of her infidelities, that I ignored. At times I would just turn my phone off for a few hours to think to myself. Sometimes it's how I cope. Instead of saying mean things, I rather not. She caused her to cheat. I'm not understand this at all, because I am not a bad person. And I know that I did not deserve to be cheated on. But how can she say she loves me and hold that against me for her cheating? I loved her so much. My question is, how do I accept that it's over? I keep thinking that it's just a dream. I keep thinking that we are still together, and that this will all just pass. I know deep down and I can't stay with her. I know it isn't healthy and she'll do it again. But she was my best friend, the person I spoke to every day. I feel bad because she does regret what she does. I can hear it in her voice. Full disclosure, I am a lesbian, and my girlfriend also claims that she is a lesbian, but she has only cheated on me with men. Here are some of the best comments from our community. 5 times. You work 3 jobs? Does she even work at all? This has been a disaster the entire 3.5 years. You have serious codependency issues. Read the book Codependent No More and learn some ways you can kick these unhealthy habits. The more distance you put between yourself and her, the happier you will be. Sexuality makes no difference to her. A cheater is a cheater, and you seem to be trauma bonded to someone who clearly doesn't feel the same way about you that you do with her, and it's a disaster how much you give but how little you get back. Ex-girlfriend. Start thinking of her that way. Also, lesbian can be an identity rather than a description. In that mindset, she identifies as lesbian, so she is. It's also possible she's attracted to both men and women, but what she means by being a lesbian is that she only wants to date women. Or another possibility is she actually doesn't have any more attraction to guys than she does to a dildo, they're just a tool to get her off. Here is the second story. I broke up with her and told her I didn't want a relationship anymore and she would leave if she wanted to. She said okay and I didn't hear from her anymore. The only reason I broke up with her was because I had personal struggles. Right after I left her, she was back with her ex. I have no reason to complain about this because I broke up with her. 2 weeks later, I messaged her and apologized for breaking up with her. I apologized and she said, "For what?" I told her I was sorry for what I said and she replied MHM. I asked her how she was doing and she said fine and she kept the conversation going. Not knowing she was with her ex, I continued to pursue her and she pursued me too. I called her a QT and she called me one back. She went to bed telling me she loved me and she wished I could be there with her. Fast forward, she ended up leaving me because of my jerk attitude and then she left her ex 2 to 3 weeks later. I mean, she literally always had her ex waiting around, but I had no clue. Earlier in our relationship I tried to leave her for a valid reason and she begged me to stay, which I did. I don't care about her being with her ex, but the fact that she knew she was back with her ex and still continued to talk to me? I should have never gone back. She said stuff like "you're my favorite and always will be." What a bunch of BS. She would have also been saying that to her ex. Her ex doesn't know this happened. I found out by looking at her profile after she broke up with me and unfriended me on social media. It had the date that we broke up on, past breakup, and her ex's name, which means she got back with her ex when we were broken up, and when I came back she decided to date us both. She eventually left him like 2 to 3 weeks later after leaving me. She's also insecure and mentioned being scared to lose me to someone better, basically fear of abandonment, but I don't know if this plays a role here. I saw this guy that was on her friends list on social media and his profile said "please come back to me," that turned out to be her ex. Throughout our relationship his profile said that and she didn't bother going to him until I left her. Seriously? Imagine the ego boost you get from that. We broke up once over a misunderstanding and I went partying and got drunk and gave out my social media to some girl, and apparently I gave her the password to my account and she put her name on my social media. That's when my ex-girlfriend texted me and we dated again. I then tried to leave her for a valid reason, but she begged me to stay, which I did, and I ended up leaving her again, and that's when she said okay and went back to her ex and ended up dating us both. Here are some of the best comments from our community. I'd give it was for revenge or her own gain. Having someone right on the side waiting is a huge, huge red flag. And the fact she dated her ex while dating you shows she doesn't want to be alone without making a decision first. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.